Hello, awesome people. This is Edward Zier here, and welcome to some of my online webinar content. Awesome online marketing that helped me create my first six figures. So it's a pleasure having you all join me for this webinar. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I trust this content is of really good value to you. Now, a lot of you people might know me already, and some of you may not actually. My name's Edward Zier. I'm a marketing mentor, and I love working with small business owners. I do lots of blogging. I'm a business networking leader. I'm on the boards of charities, and I love working with university students and all sorts of things. So it's a pleasure having you all there. And yes, that is a great photo of me at the top of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So thank you for joining me for this one. And in this webinar recording, I want to talk to you about online marketing. And like a lot of this, webinar type of online content, it is general advice only. So as a marketing mentor and certified practicing marketer, it holds myself and my business to the highest ethical and personal developments and standards of my industry. All the content is of general advice and education only. If you need some personal advice, please contact me anytime for personal mentoring. I'd love to help you. And of course, all the materials are developed by myself in copyright and all that sort of thing. So thank you again. With all that heavy stuff out of the way, I want to get straight into my favorite topic, which is small business sales and marketing. Now, when it comes to, in particular, online. Sales and marketing is a massive area, and it's anything from doing your elevator pitch right to getting business cards to even setting up complex autoresponders and using LeadPages and that sort of thing. So it's a very broad area of many different facets and different elements to it. And the learning objectives of this is I want to deliver you awesome content, talk reality, and deliver you the facts that you need. I want to give you profitable, proven, and sales and marketing strategies. And exactly, I want to give you a lot. As you can tell probably by now, I do not hold a damn thing back. And I'm here beyond the webinar if you need me. So if you need my help beyond this, feel free to drop me a line or whatever I can do to assist and support you. And like all things in all my content and all my webinars, feel free to watch it over and over again. Take your time with it. There are a lot of different themes that I really do go through. And like all things, if you feel confused, that's great because you're about to learn something new. You probably see my mouse cursor really emphasizing that. And like all things, don't worry about learning everything. Just take out what is completely relevant to you. And like I always say in all cases, successful marketers and go hard. I'm a massive fan of Rosie the Riveter, the World War II underdog we can do it poster girl. And to me, she sums up the entrepreneurial spirit. And this has always been my definition of small business marketing. It's about making a business more awesome, helping people find it, selling, looking after more clients, looking after clients and selling more. Now, let's get straight into this online marketing content. And like all things, you'll notice that I like to go back to where it all began. Now, first things first, online marketing, what is it and when did it start out? Online marketing pretty much started not too much longer after the internet was created. So the internet was created originally, and it really started to sort of take shape in its modern day form, I think around early 2000s from memory, going back a long time, obviously. And what was very interesting is that savvy entrepreneurs and corporates early on started to figure out that this thing called the net can give them some very lucrative promotional and advertising opportunities. So what we found over time was that companies got really into it and really got a feel for powerful online marketing. So in the old days, you had early banner advertising, you had very early blog sites, you had gallery sites, you had redirect sites, you had pop-up sites. You had all this crazy stuff. And look, what we found over time is a lot of the actual marketing tools and that are available, a lot of them actually consolidated. So these days you have massive dominant platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, for example, whereas in the old days it was a lot more fragmented. You had a lot more little different things. These days it's pretty much just Google and a bit of Microsoft Bing. In those days you had Excite, Lycos, you had Netscape, you had all these different search engines that over time just all got gobbled up and consolidated and all that sort of thing. The point I'm making is that it's a very fast-moving type of industry. And the real trick is that really working out what innovations are here to help us as small business owners to help us better market and do what we need to do. And here's a big question. And, I quite like this footage, actually, this shot of the SWAT team guy breaking down a door of an old Nokia phone. And to me, that's the answer to the question of why should I be online? You don't want to turn into Nokia. And if you remember, Nokia was a massive company, and only just recently, probably a few months ago from doing this recording, the remnants of Nokia was bought up by Microsoft. And Microsoft are actually going to drop the Nokia name. So that was the end of Nokia. Now, one of the simple answers I want to give is why I should be online. Is that only a few years ago, there was a big distinction between online and offline marketing. They were sort of considered two different areas in two different fields. But now online marketing is just becoming assumed. And over time, I don't think there'll even be a term called online and offline marketing. It'll just be considered the same thing. And the challenge is, and this is one of the things, is that the online world is already here. And all the indicators are saying we are only going to go more online as time passes. And the simple question is why? It's better, it's faster. I know the internet isn't perfect and it's brought some problems, but overall it's brought some great things to our world and faster sharing of information and that type of thing. On an interesting note, the actual time I'm doing this video is actually during the siege of Sydney. Right now at Martin Place, as I'm doing this, there's actually a siege going on with a gunman taking hostages in Lindt Chocolate and Martin Place. Very, very scary thing. It's actually happening as I do this. And the thing is that from an internet point of view, in real time exactly what's been going on. It's been the new TV. So in positive and negative ways, it's absolutely amazing some of the stuff that we see. And what's interesting as well, this image of the SWAT team member, I actually did this last night before the siege actually began. So it's very interesting and just something I wanted to mention as I'm doing this video that you're watching. Touch wood, everything goes well for those innocent people. And exactly, and as I use in that, sort of scary example, the internet is absolutely amazing, and it's good for disseminating information. And talking small business is you can get thousands of views for just dollars. So quite often I spend $6 a day on Facebook, and that $6 will give me at least 1,000 views of my article or content or whatever. And the beauty with online marketing and Facebook and LinkedIn and email marketing, those platforms, quite often they promote you 24/7. So be it I'm working or I'm with clients or whatever, I'm being promoted, and usually I'll get seen at least 3,000 times a day online as I do this webinar/video. And that's the beauty of it. It's a form of automation. It's been revolutionary for my business. And to me, it's obviously good for helping you pick up new clients, which I'm sure a lot of you are quite interested in. And it's also great for connecting with your existing clients and rewarding them and building a community and that sort of thing. So I really see those sort of dual purposes. And for me, again, this webinar is sort of giving content more from my own viewpoint because it is titled, how it created my first six figures. And I'm also drawing on the experience of a lot of my clients and colleagues who are also very good online marketers as well. And here's the thing, and this is the big caveat I want to give to all this, is that with any form of marketing, especially in particular online marketing, you want to make sure that your business strategy, your plans, and your products and pricing and the like are all good. Unfortunately, I have a few really nice people that I've worked with, really great people, and they've actually got problems in their businesses, and they might, let's say, jump on LinkedIn or Facebook or do email marketing or whatever, and they actually don't get the results they expect from online. And the issue isn't so much that they're not using online correctly. There's actual problems in their business or people don't want their products or whatever. So you got to remember, all online is a form of communication. So if your actual products aren't suitable, it's not going to happen. So it's just something I sort of want to put out there. Make sure that your business strategy is great. So refer to the other materials that we have. We've got all stuff on business and marketing planning, or even contact me if you need a bit of help on that one. Completely available to support you. And here are the awesome online marketing strategies, which I'm going to go through. And you might want to watch this webinar a few times. It's a quality website, email marketing, blogging and content, Facebook, LinkedIn, webinars, online event platforms, membership sites and products, listings and profiles, and SEO and Google presence. So we've got quite a few different options, which is very good for people. Now, a quality website. Now, the question is, what is the first thing you do when you're planning on hiring someone or buying something? Quite often, you'll go Google them and check out their website and that sort of thing. And the way that we look at websites, and this is the way that we coin them, is in Australia, a lot of people who are watching this are from Australia, but you might be from the UK or wherever. We have a massive shopping centre chain called Westfields. And I coined the website, it's like your own little shopping mall. It's your shop front. It's the way people experience you online and decide whether to buy something from you or not. So the reality is that to me, any online strategy is underpinned by a very good, high quality website. You want a beautiful, high converting website, and you want something that really grabs leads and makes you look really good. Now, the point with it as well, and I appreciate this. When you start out in business, not everyone can afford $3,000 for a website. I totally get that. What I did as an interim, my view is a crappy website isn't going to help you. You want a good website. So when I started out, I actually had my LinkedIn public page as my website, so my web domain would just redirect to that. A lot of photographers, especially, some of them don't even have websites. They just refer work to, what I'm trying to say here, brain's not working, long day. What they do is they just refer people to their Facebook page, or also there's some template websites too, which are very good. But look, the marketing purist in me says you want to buy yourself a nice website. So again, the soonest you get some money together, you really want a quality website. To me, at the end of the day, it's where people often go to decide to buy stuff from you. So it's good to get it right. 2 is email marketing. Now, I'm a massive fan of MailChimp, and you might have already received, some of my emails already. So you can do weekly, fortnightly, or monthly emails. This here is one of my recent email samples, which I'm very proud of. If you have a look at it, the top half of it is actually an invite to the webinar, which is the actual webinar I did tonight, which is actually the night of that Sydney siege, which is quite spooky. And also as well, the second half of it's actually selling my online product, which the awesome marketing bot by Edward Zier. Now, the thing here is that, when it comes to email marketing is building your database is a great way of staying in contact with people, building relationships with people online, and promoting products to them over time. Okay. And the beauty of it is that you can just do one email and, I've got, right as I do this webinar, I've got about 1,000 people in my database, it's a very high quality database, which I'm very excited about. And my emails will get opened by at least 200 people every time I do it. And that database will probably be 3,000 the way I'm going. It's actually growing extremely quickly, which I'm quite proud of. And I'll get anything from 20% open rates each time. So email marketing is a great strategy, and I usually recommend MailChimp. I think it's an outstanding platform. I personally use it. Easy to use, and you can even use it for free if you want. But then the premium's not much, and I usually suggest that one. So email marketing is a great way in building your database and all that type of thing. 3, don't start beyond blogging. If you've watched my other stuff, I am a blogging fanatic, and it's one of my favorite online marketing strategies, for the simple reason is that blogging has helped me make a lot of money. It's really taken my business to that next level. It's been a very, very good strategy of mine. And what blogging is, blog is simply short for weblog, which equals blog, and it's really today's newspaper. And what it comes down to is actually writing articles of interest for your audience. So for example, it's easy for me, I'm a sales and marketing mentor, so I write articles about sales and marketing and experiences and things that happen to me and that sort of thing. And the idea of a good blogger, and I'm not so much, you can blog for social reasons too, you can blog about your holidays or your pets or whatever for non-commercial reasons. But talking about blogging from more of a purely commercial viewpoint, with blogging, it is an amazing strategy. It works incredibly well. And you really want to blog about what you do. So, for example, if, at the end of the day, my blogging is all about business, sales, and marketing. So people read it from that viewpoint. And as they read my blogs, they get to appreciate me. They know what I'm doing, and increases my odds of getting hired by them. So I've had people, follow my blogs for a few months and they love it. And then I get an email from them. Hi, Edward, this is great. How can you help me? Or they buy my online product or whatever. So it's an incredibly good strategy. When you write blogs, you can share them all through your social media channels. So I highly recommend it. Now, I blog every day, except for the rare occasion. I don't recommend that for most normal people. Once a week, once a fortnight can be really good. But it depends on what you're doing. Like my aspiration is really the full-time entrepreneur path. So from that viewpoint, I look at it quite differently in that regard. Then you have, and going back one thing with the blogging as well. Very good to be consistent with it and put a really good plan in place to really help you do it. Okay, so a very, very, I think a very good strategy that can be very useful for a lot of people. 4 is Facebook. Now, Facebook is not for everyone, but it can be very, very good for a lot of businesses, and I personally love it. I use it a lot. I often spend quite a bit of money on Facebook because it does really well for my business. It's great for connecting personally. You can build your business page, you can build likes, you can have boosted posts, you can get sign-ups to events, webinars, products, and get leads. And feel free to check out the Facebook webinars as well. Now, with Facebook, I get probably at least 3,000, but I've been conservative. I at least get 2,000 views a day just through Facebook, and it's been revolutionary for my business and helping me take it to the next level. So I highly recommend Facebook, and it's been absolutely outstanding for me. Now, it depends on your business. You might be might be a corporate guy or in an industry niche, which people aren't really on Facebook. But if you're, let's say, targeting a broad demographic and, or an area or something, Facebook is absolutely outstanding. Now, one thing is, I think gone are the days of using Facebook for free. You do need a bit of a budget to effectively get money out of it. At the start of Facebook, a lot of people were getting a free ride out of it. But in terms of making it fairer for Facebook and fairer for the little guy, Facebook now has more paid functionality. But again, a very good platform that I highly recommend. LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is quite different to Facebook. Facebook, I think, is more of a great platform for targeting a broad sort of demography, like quite a broad exposure to a certain niche. LinkedIn is, I see it as more, and I love LinkedIn, I see it more as business networking online. You don't so much create a LinkedIn account, to get thousands of views and that sort of thing. I see it more as the opportunity even though you can get a lot of views with it, especially with the blogging functionality of LinkedIn. But what I see it more good for is more making direct profitable connections. So you can connect to people directly, such as, decision makers. Let's say you're a coach or a mentor and you're chasing HR managers from companies. LinkedIn's a great way of identifying who they are and what companies they work for and connecting with them directly. So LinkedIn's a very, very good tool, I think, for sort of connecting with people on that real direct basis. Okay. Very, very, very powerful, and very good if you're sort of in industry niches or specialties as well. Very, very, very good sort of thing. Okay. So I personally love LinkedIn, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Feel free to look me up and add me there. Same on Facebook too. Feel free to add me as a friend on Facebook as well. Now, webinars. Now, webinars, you're actually watching a webinar now. You're not watching a live webinar. I did a variant of this workshop as a webinar, of this seminar as a webinar, as a live webinar, and you're watching it as a premium, awesome recorded webinar. Now, a webinar is an online seminar, and they can be paid or unpaid. It can be something you can do in the open community to help people, or you can even deliver training. So webinars, to me, is a very versatile platform for delivering information. You might, for example, in this regard, this is a recorded webinar, which I'm using as content for often my premium products and that sort of thing. You might do a webinar for free and invite everyone along, such as you can see on my cool form on the right, to generate interest that way. So there's heaps and different ways that you can sort of use it. And there's heaps of different platforms out there. And I've always fell in love with Citrix GoToWebinar. It's not cheap. It's about $150 a month that I pay for it. But it's an outstanding platform. And the thing is that if you're planning on doing live webinars, you definitely want to use some of the best software. So I've used Citrix GoToWebinar for a few years. It's not the cheapest, but it's a very powerful software. And I know many people that they've criticized me, oh, Ed, you suck, and using Citrix GoToWebinar is stupid and use this cheaper program. And they're always bug-ridden. They've always had problems. They've always had live webinars tip over for them, which is embarrassing as heck. So I believe in using the right tools, doing things properly. So to me, webinars can be very good. So if you're running it, it's just like running an online event, be it live or recorded. And it's a very, very good way of, very good way of promoting yourself, very good way of giving us, helping people, giving them information about what you're doing, solving their problems, but B, also promoting yourself. And this is sort of one point that I come to, and this is what I sort of want to paint everything with the same brush. There's a level of generosity applied with this. So whenever you're doing awesome online marketing, just promoting your stuff and saying, buy me, buy me, buy me, you can only do that so much. You want to give and take. I think you want to be very generous with information or whatever you can within commercial reason to help people so that they build trust for you over time. So that's where webinars are very good. 7, online event platforms. Now, online event platforms can be very good if, let's say, being paid events or, free events or whatever the case might be is part of your business strategy. So there's 2 platforms that I've used. So meetup.com is more of a community-based sort of platform. So if you type in Squeeze Business Networking, you might find the actual meetup community, which I run at the time of doing this webinar. It's a networking group. So meetup.com is how can I put it? It's more of a community website. So it has lots of people on the site. What you do is you create your own, let's say, community page. It could be around, let's say, photography or business networking or, whatever the case may be. And what it does is with that actual event, it actually matches it based on, let's say I've got a free networking event for business owners. It actually tries to match it to other business owners in its database to help fill your events. Now, it is a pretty good platform. The reason why I am saying it's sort of okay here and I'm being a little bit lukewarm on it, it is a very good platform, but you got to be careful on what events you did. Like when I got in, it started getting really competitive. Meetup is really competitive these days. So if you're going to create a Meetup account and go on there, you want to make sure you've got a really rare event and something that's really interesting. So if you're just doing an event that everyone else is doing, it's very hard to get it off the ground. So make sure you've got a really rare and nice event. So Meetup's more for building community. Now, Eventbrite's quite different. Eventbrite is just a booking platform. So Eventbrite doesn't have a community that the event gets promoted to. It's just a really good booking platform. So let's say you're doing an event, you're doing a free, property investment seminar or something. Or let's say you're going to charge $20 a ticket. You can set it up all in Eventbrite. So you just direct people to the Eventbrite page that you can set up, and they can book in for free and get their tickets, or they can buy something, and it just takes a percentage. So very, very good in that point of view. And usually Eventbrite and Meetup, they're very generous in the percentages that they take. I think it's like 5 or 6% or so. It's something like that, something quite small. So they're very, very good for helping you sort of build events. So I highly recommend them as well. Now, this is not for everyone. This is doing membership sites and selling products online. Absolutely not for everyone, but there might be a few of you actually, listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I actually want to create my own premium product. I want to create my own online site or whatever the case may be. It is a big project. It's something that I've done with the awesome Marketing Vault by Edward Zia. Totally love that. It took me a long time to build it and get it of high quality course, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. It's very common. So common examples are you might have membership sites for mentors or coaches or whatever, or mentors like myself selling their ideas and content through digital products. Training's very good. You also even have photographers as well selling their own photos, or you can have an e-commerce. You might be an online fashion retailer selling your own products and that sort of thing. Again, not for everyone, but yeah, membership sites and products is definitely a very good option. 9 is listings and profiles, a very good online marketing strategy. Now, what invariably happens is, especially in small business and professional services, you'd be surprised at how often people will Google your name. And it happens to me all the time. It happens to a lot of my colleagues all the time. We forever are getting Google stalked. So people are going to Google your name. So the challenge is making sure there's a good experience online. America's Most Wanted doesn't come up, right? Or it doesn't show that you've just come out of prison, right? But on a serious note, you don't want people going to your Facebook as well and seeing drunken photos of you over the weekend or whatever. Okay. So the point is that be it Facebook, LinkedIn, flying solo, for networking, forums, or communities, quite often you'll actually have a lot of listings online. So it might be, let's say your Twitter account might have, Edward Zia in my case, and there's my Twitter account. So if you Google my name, you'll see a lot of my different listings and profiles coming up. The trick is you want them to look really good and reflect what you want. So you want to make sure they're all updated and clean, that sort of thing. Now, one point to note, I've got a rare name. Edward Zia is quite a rare sort of name. It's obviously a Middle Eastern name, right? Or Edward's my Western name, and Zia is my Middle Eastern last name from Iran. I've got a pretty rare name, so if you type in Edward Zia, I tend to rank really well. But let's say you're Stephanie Smith or John Jones or something like that. There's going to be a lot of John Joneses out there. So the challenge is your name may not be as prominent on Google. So there's several ways about it. A, don't worry about it and just accept the loss. Another thing that people can do is, let's say you've got a very common name, you might use your middle name or have a stage name or an initial something. You do something to sort of help you stand out. So that's another way you can sort of look at it as well. But anyway, it's sort of a different discussion. Now, just remember, people do Google stalk you, so it's good to make sure you have your profiles all done so you rank and appear correctly. And 10 is SEO and Google presence. Now, this is a whole nother conversation. And SEO and Google presence, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. It's really the art form of making sure that you appear on Google and you appear in the right places. So, for example, if you type in, so I'm in Sydney, Parramatta is a massive sub-city in the western suburbs. Let's say you're a mechanic there. You want people, if they say type in mechanic Parramatta, you want you to appear. Or if let's say you're a graphic designer in Melbourne and someone says graphic designer in Melbourne, you appear. So what the challenge is, and there's a whole discussion of getting rankings in Google's, but one key strategy, which is free, is you want to make sure that all your content is seated with the right words. So if you're, let's say, a graphic designer in Melbourne or Sydney or wherever the case may be, or London, you want to make sure that all your content always says graphic designer Melbourne, or graphic designer London. You want to make sure you have that wording all throughout your website and your blog articles and that sort of thing. The simple reason for that is that Google will search your site and will search other sites that point to your site and sort of look for the number of times that those words sort of appear. So the trick is you want to write all your content, your blog articles, with words that you'll be found by. So for example, if you're a graphic designer, or pick on them, or let's say you're a life coach or whatever, you want to make sure you have all those words seated throughout your content so you appear quite well on the internet and that sort of thing. So very, very, very sort of important thing to consider. And the other point I want to make as well, and this isn't so much a strategy, it's more of just a software that I highly recommend. It's LeadPages. So LeadPages.net, feel free to Google it. Now what LeadPages is LeadPages is a cloud-based template program. And basically what it does is, at the end of the day, if you're giving away a free ebook to get email signups, you're trying to fill webinars and that sort of thing, you really need a good quality lead page. You need a page on the internet that people can go to that is high converting, that will just really encourage people to sign up. Now, the beauty of LeadPages is that it's all templatable. You can connect it to your MailChimp accounts, your GoToWebinars, heaps of other different platforms. So as people sign up, you can set up to email and content and all that sort of thing. So again, it's not so much a strategy, but it's a very, very good program that I use to really enhance what I'm doing. So this, and just as a quick recap, I've really shot through some quick things. But I just want to recap the awesome online marketing strategies. Is, I think, number one, a quality website. Everything starts with a good website. You really want to make sure you have that as soon as you can. Two, email marketing is a great place to start as well. It's often free. You can use MailChimp, and you can start really connecting with people on a regular basis and building ongoing relationships. Three, blogging and content is amazing. I love blogging. It's about getting information out to people all the time and really connecting with them. Four, Facebook, love it. Great for broad exposure. Not for everyone, it's very good. Five, LinkedIn, great for professional networking and that type of thing. Six, webinars. Well, they work for me. You're listening to one now. So webinars can be very good, especially live webinars, depending on your strategy. Seven, online event platforms. So if you, let's say, have to do events as part of your business, great approach. Eight, membership sites and products. Not for everyone, but a few people walk that path and do very well, such as me. 9, getting your listings and profile rights. And 10, your SEO and Google presence. So a lot of people ask me, Edward, where do I get started? I think get your website right. Email marketing, blogging, and Facebook's a great place to begin. Or let's say Facebook doesn't suit you. LinkedIn is really cool too, depending on the business that you're in and that type of thing. So I hope that little quick overview has helped. So obviously I've really hit you with the kitchen sink with a lot of information, and what I really encourage that you do is, there's heaps more online strategy. There's Twitter, and there's online quote sites, and eBay, and Google pay-per-click and the like. I personally don't use it, and I don't actually recommend it that much, so I just generally sort of stay out of it, which is why I haven't been one to advocate it. And really it comes down to, you just want to pick a few that you like and just do them well. So please don't run and do everything. That won't quite help you. And also to help you decide as well, do some research, verify what I'm saying. Also as well, if you need some help, love to help you one-on-one. So feel free to contact me and I can take it from there. And like all things, you want to make sure that it feels right and works out well for you and that type of thing. And just some closing remarks. Think through everything I said, work out what you like and don't like. Really embrace the online future. Please don't wind up Nokia. I really don't want you to do that. Online's here to stay, and it's only going to get more and more that way. And it's forever changing. So if you're a little bit behind it, it's good to get into it and get a feel for it. I'm always forever trying to keep on top of it. And think automation. And this is one beauty, like, online is an outstanding form of business automation. Like, how else am I going to get seen 3,000 times a day? I have no idea how I'm going to do it for what I'm paying outside of what I'm doing. So I think it's very good in that point of view. And like all things I say with any webinar, all you need is one great idea from this and implement it tomorrow, and you can make yourself a shitload of money and build your business. So awesome results come from awesome action. So make your first move. And thank you so much. I really appreciate the attention you've paid in this webinar. Feel free to watch it over again. And of course, drop me a line if I can assist you. You've been an absolutely wonderful audience. Contact me soon. Love your work. This is Edward Zier signing out.